so much better for KC. Aurora 1-6 so far in mid lane at first stand, really has not been a performant champion. Kana, you know, obviously playing his Aatrox, you know, you talked about...
was always both a pick away as well as just a neutralizing pick, as we often see him use, because he gets to lane pretty decently into effectively anything.
And I've always felt like Zeus is just such a confidence player, right? When he is playing really well, he can just play...
We'll see whether KC can do a little bit more of what we saw in that first game to try and pull themselves back.
The big thing for me after the previous game, though, is how good the team fighting looked as Targamas.
Yeah, Chains of Corruption smashed into the wall there as well, and he decides to turn it into a bit of an engage because he has nowhere else to go. That's first blood somehow here at 12.5 minutes.
Team fighting, right? That was, for me, KC was doing so much better, particularly with Hanwha's strength being team fighting. So that's something that I think they can still rely on, but it's, again, Gold lead, it just keeps on climbing slowly and steadily, and if they're not careful, they are just going to get choked out of this game.
Yeah, but they're not at that position now, definitely. We'll see.
Be sure they're right. I do want to highlight something we haven't talked about yet, as Zeus should be fine here still. I don't think there's enough people nearby. Let's get...
Does need to hit this tower a couple of times before he makes his way out, as he flashes, actually. Not sure about that one, as the Nara into the wall. He hits the Mega as Delight comes over. The redemption coming down, though, as Yike looking to try and protect his top laner. But with Peanut in the area, they might be able to get something done, but Delight is just being given up to the Ghost.
He's dead.
And it looks like KC are going to be able to finally strike back in this game, answering that first blood with a kill of their own.
That's actually huge as well, but they're going to look for Kalist.
Yep, ulti comes through from Zeka here as Kalist taking a fair bit of damage, but not going to be hit by everything. Zeka needed to land that other one. The thing that's really dangerous and worrying is that this is the Ivern game. You don't get another one of these, right? It's Fearless. And this is one that they should definitely be winning, right? That's what you'd expect. This is their ace in the hole. Not quite working out, although it might be enough to kill Zeus. Like you were saying, see whether he can crush his way out of it. There's enough CC here as Glady is getting the same treatment as the Glacial Fissure, almost what finishes him off there, as Zeus will get taken down as well. Peanut, in the meantime, though, is looking for that soul point that we were talking about. The rest of HLE on that bottom side able to take down an inner turret. And I think sacrificing Zeus is probably okay.
It's 4 kills.
Yeah, it feels like Dandy just said to them, no more fun, we're winning. You've got to do your homework. You've got to make sure that all the ducks are in a row. And it's not about having fun, it's about controlling the map.
The ducks are innate.
Yeah, and when Dandy's talking about ducks, that's when you know.
That's real.
That's
scary.
Things are really looking dire for the players here. At least that's what Mowgli told me that one time. And he might have been joking, Otacon has been started up down to 9K, as we can see here. Daisy coming out.
It is slow.
Yeah. She is going to try and assess what's going on. True Shot Barrage does give that information over, and Daisy is sacrificed.
Oh, Zeka standing guard. The poke is landing.
How are you supposed to engage here as Between Worlds come down at any moment? Kalist moving in now. The flanking Ezreal is not the scariest, as there's the wallop from Zeus to slow them down. Yeah, they're looking for this, but I don't know about it. It's down to 1,000 as there goes the Otacon, and it's Voracious. So we've got some second lives here for HLE. They decide not to go more aggressive. And HLE now with a whole lot of extra power in the next couple of skirmishes.
And as soon as Zeus TPs, I think you just let it go, right? Like the fact that they're also...
where this composition really does thrive. Problem is that they sort of don't thrive anywhere with how far behind they have now become. 5,000 gold as Peanut looks to try and pick up Kalist, not able to do so. Arcane Shift going to be there, but the inner turret still going to be falling down. Daisy getting aggressive, the Spiraling Despair is there as well, and Zeus going down rather low. Remember, Otacon still up and available, so they have the ability to...
They are still going to contest. Viper very far ahead. Zeus doesn't quite have his second item yet. So KC, maybe this is the opportunity they needed. There's a deep TP there from Zeka.
That's kind of crazy, actually. The minion wave is going to spot him.
They will see him.
Yeah. But now with that information, what are they going to do with it? That's the real question. The remaining four going to be, the 5 members of KC all moving back as a unit. Make it 6 as Daisy comes out. Zeka moving over. They are splitting this one up. Kind of taking a big chunk from Zeka here, who is really playing with the amount of gold that he does have. He cuts through kind of quite effectively. Piercing arrows being thrown out. That range that we were talking about from Viper really a factor here. As there's the Hex Flash in from Targamas, but he's melting! They kind of ignore him here as he gets stunned up. Chains of Corruption do go wide though, as Delight taking a lot of damage, but the poke, the artillery fire here from Viper is just ludicrous, and Kalist getting thrown out of the battle. Zeus still extremely healthy. Zeka on this flank angle, and they will be able to take the soul, but what more can they get? Exactly right, Zeka finding almost everyone with that one, as down goes Vladdy. Kana just realizing that someone will have to die. It may as well be him, as Zeka gets another one in the fight. That'll be Soul as well, and the shutout continues. Explaining to me in our first cast that this champion is just not that great.
I was with him.
Yeah.
I think Aurora's thus far have just not looked great.
And Zeka is looking really, really good, and this is not his flavor of champion either, as Peanut looking aggressive, finds the Impale. They're happy to just grab any target, as Daisy and Targamas both going down in unison. And Zeus is just zoning everyone away. Yike segmented off as well. He'll just explode. Concussive blows holding him in place. And HLE, I mean, we call them the orange tank for a reason, but they are lumbering towards the enemy nexus, and there is nothing stopping them.
Yeah, they get that kill. They know they just need Yike, and then the Baron is going to be free, and they can even go for Vladdy at the same time. He gets tagged.
Yeah, Winter's Bite coming on through there, as there's the stun, and Vladdy going to be taking a lot of damage. Does manage to almost kill Zeus.
To make it look...
In this game, Targamas and Vladdy put so much effort, or excuse me, Targamas and Yike put so much effort into helping Vladdy that it meant Kana was kind of just left out on his own, getting no assistance. And Zeus is wise to their tricks. There's 3 members pushing top. No one's there, so Zeus knows.
Yeah.
Not wise enough, maybe.
Well, he is now moving the wrong direction. Or is this the right direction? Yeah, Cloud Soul is also just kind of obscene.
He's fine.
As, yeah, Kalist is the one that's in trouble as the Impale comes through. Zeka there for the follow-up damage, and this Ezreal nowhere he can go, and Zeus turns it into an engage opportunity onto Vladdy. That's, I think, demonstrating just how far behind KC are this game as they'll move up towards this inhibitor on the top side. The base just in ruins. As HLE, I think they're done here with game number 2. They're going to make it a best of 3 as they take down the second. As KC pretty happy. They have that 1-game buffer. They can use this as an opportunity to go back to the drawing board and figure something else out. But this one was all HLE all the time. And this team looks real angry with dropping a game in this series.
Yeah, Nexus, I think, ends up falling to mostly minions, as that felt personal. They're in the fountain.
I mean,